Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this very special Christmas episode of Sunday Night Live with me, Jonny Lipsham, here at jonnylipshamstudios.co.uk in a very chilly and very windy southeast corner of Scotland, capital of literally everything, including the wind. And tonight I am joined by my very good friend, partner in crime, and partner in all things songwriting challenges, the legend, the myth, the man, Mr. Rich Cresswell. Welcome, my friend.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Other than being blown about like a strange thing at the moment, it's been very windy here. And as
Yeah.
Keith points out, Scots are known to be full of wind. Yeah, that's a different kind of wind. That kind of wind does tend to blow at gale force 8, but this one is like more like storm force 10. So, it's been a bit of a windy time recently. I had to go and chase one of our wheelie bins down the road. And as for we get these little grey bins that are like this big that are designed just for food waste. I don't know where that is. I put it out yesterday because it was meant to be collected by the refuse collectors in the early hours of this morning, and don't know where it is. It's in somebody's garden somewhere, and we do have an early Christmas present, which I was quite surprised about. We have a trampoline. I don't know who it belongs to, but it has made its way over our fence and into our garden. And it landed the right side up, so kind of...
a bonus.
Bonus, yeah. I just need to find out whose it is. And then they're going to need to come and get it. So, yeah, that's been a bit of a challenge here lately. But tonight is a very special night because it is the last show before Christmas Day and Christmas Eve and all of that. So I hope everybody is suitably excited and ready for the big day itself, and has, kind of gifts all purchased and everything else. I have most of them sorted. I still have like a couple of things that I need to go and get because really I'm not going to be able to get them off of Amazon because I've left it too late. So I'm going to have to go out tomorrow night and go and get those sorted. I wonder how many of you are in the same position with respect to that. So if you are in the same position, then please do, kind of say so in the chat. That would be fun to talk about that. I know it's a little bit off topic, but hey, it's Christmas and I'm drinking, the old punk IPA because I don't normally drink on my shows, but hey, it's a Christmas special. Why the heck not? I might even get a little sweary. We'll have to see how much of this stuff I can get through.
Yeah.
So, Rich, how have you been, my friend? It's been a wee while.
Ill. Obviously, seasonal cold, flu, or whatever it is, and obviously some people in the chat know I'm moving as well, so I'm actually all packing up for all that stuff at the moment as well. I'm making a trip halfway across the country to start a new life in Cambridge.
Wow, Cambridge. I love Cambridge. Cambridge is a lovely city. Are you going to be kind of in the city or kind of just outside of it?
Just outside of Cambridge, yeah, in a little village.
Oh, nice. There's some really nice villages around that kind of part of the world as well. There's a wee village. I forgot the name of it. It's kind of between Ely and Newmarket. I can't remember the name of it, but it's just like mostly farms. There's like 2 or 3 farms and a pub, I think. I don't know if you're going to be anywhere near there, but I used to love taking walks from Newmarket down through that way. Beautiful countryside.
Yeah, it's a nice part of the country. It's very flat, so if you ride a bike, very easy.
Yes, very flat, even though the earth is not flat, but yes. Papa Raptor Music says, I only have to buy presents for my wife. She goes overboard and buys for everyone else. She kindly adds my name to the from tag. Yeah, you know what? My wife does that too. She pretty much buys everything else because I'm shit at organizing that kind of thing. And I have been known to forget people. And so to save kind of family embarrassment, my wife does the vast majority of the purchasing of gifts and stuff. And she said, just focus on two people because that's all you can manage. I was just like, okay, that's fine, I can do that. I don't know how many people in the chat, or even you, Rich, whether you're kind of one of these people that is really, really good at wrapping the gifts and making them look beautiful in the wrapping. That's not me at all.
Yeah, it probably sounds sort of not. I'm not shit, but not amazing either.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I would consider myself lucky when I'm wrapping something if the paper doesn't get torn, and then I have to like cut out a little square of paper and then tape that over the hole that's left. I have done that more times than I care to count, and then there have been times when I'm so frustrated with the wrapping part of it that I'm like ready to throw the gift against the wall, you know.
Yeah, if the people that are opening your gifts are having to use scissors, i.e., you're using more sellotape than wrapping paper, it might be, worth watching a YouTube video or something.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos on kind of like how you get those corners, you know, those triangle corners and things like that. But so anything that's in a box, like a square or a rectangular box, I can do that. It's things that are round that I have trouble with, like if it's like a cylinder or a bottle.
Yeah, there's been
I don't have a chance.
there's been I think this Christmas, I think it was last year as well. There's those big lint chocolate, kind of like in a
Yep.
a sphere. It's kind of made to look like a lint chocolate,
Oh
which
yes,
is
yes.
normally a sort of a sphere anyway. But it's a giant version. I can't imagine anybody doing a great job of wrapping those up. Just stick it in a bag. Get
Yeah.
a gift bag.
Gift
Done.
bag, and yeah, gift bag with a little bow at the top and tie it off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of my solution this year because I got so frustrated last year. I'm just like, okay, gift bags. You folks are just getting a gift bag and you just have to undo the bow and there it is. Done. Nice and easier. Okay, Paparazzi Music says, my OCD kicks in when I'm rapping. Every corner must be perfect. And Chris is agreeing with that. Yeah. I would like to say I agree, but when it comes to the actual practicalities of it, it just doesn't happen. There are reasons, and they're not excuses, they're actually genuine reasons why I find such things challenging. I have a very, very, very minimal form of cerebral palsy because when I was born, I came out so fast. I kind of lacked oxygen for a period of time, which kind of left me with a cerebral palsy. And it means that there are fine motor skill things with my fingers that I can't do. I can play the piano, I can play my bass, and I can play my sax, but just don't ask me to tie my shoelaces or wrap anything with paper because I just can't do it. Or, you know, cutting with scissors in a straight line, can't do it. Just doesn't happen. Because, you know, my brain is saying, this is what you need to do, fingers. And my fingers are going, what?
This is why you only have 3 fingers, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've got all 10 fingers, but they just don't want to do what I'm telling them to do. It's very frustrating. Ron says, I let Snoop Dogg do all my Christmas rapping. Yeah, I think I would prefer iced tea, but yeah, and gift bags are great for gifting, says Jimmy Three Balls. Jimmy Three Balls, that is a great name for your channel. I like that.
I mean, there's no need to brag or anything,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I like that. Kyle says, for whatever holiday that you celebrate, may it be filled with the love of family and friends. Absolutely. 100%. Could not agree more with that. Here in the Lipsham house, we celebrate both Christmas and Hanukkah. And this year, they fall pretty much at the same time. So, in our house, it's kind of double bubble. We'll be having Christmas at home, Hanukkah at my parents, as well as Christmas, and then back home for more Christmas and more Hanukkah. So it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to, like, at least 2 lots of turkey. And all the trimmings and all the non-kosher things that we have with it as well. So
Pigs in blankets.
Pigs in blankets. Yeah, it's the most unkosher thing you could ever have at Hanukkah, but it's what we do.
And mixing, isn't it? It's the whole mixing thing as well. Like, you can't have a bug with cheese on, for example.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, so tonight, not only are we kind of celebrating Christmas, but we are also celebrating the completion of our songwriting challenge, which we've been running for the better part of 2 months, I think it is. I think we started this in October. And gotta say, response in terms of number of entries and stuff has been really good.
Excellent.
I was really impressed with just the number of people that actually decided to take part, and people that took part that haven't taken part previously. Was really good as well. So thank you very much to everybody that entered. And for those of you that wanted to enter, but you ran out of time, because I have spoken to a few people for whom that was the case, where it's just like, you know, life and other things kind of took over and they ended up not being able to enter. Those of you that kind of like, they entered in spirit, thank you very much for, you know, for doing that as well. And there are a few of you. Some of you are not here tonight. Some of you I know are going to be watching this on replay. So for those of you, I'm looking particularly at you now, you, and you, and you, and you at the back. Yes, you guys. Thank you for wanting to be, for, you know, being willing to be a part of it as well. It's been really, really good. And we got some good songs. We got some good mixes of Rich's song. I am one of those for whom life events kind of took over and I didn't have time to actually put in an entry. Not that I was ever going to be able to win, because this is, you know, my contest. So, you know, I can't win my own contest. But suffice it to say, I didn't get a chance because I have been out of the country for the better part of 2 weeks. I was in Hamburg with the Persona software team, meeting with them, which was really, really great. They are a cracking, superb bunch of people, and they are probably the smartest people on the planet. They are super duper, highly intelligent people. And so it was really, really great to actually meet in person the people that I meet with on Zoom calls pretty much every week, if not every day. And it was really great to actually just, you know, hang out with them and get to know them a bit more, and, you know, get to know the brains behind the software that we all know and love and we all use. So that was really great, and to be meeting with them and talking about future things, which are immensely exciting. What is coming in 2025 is going to blow your socks off, people. I promise you. Because I've seen the future, and the future is extremely bright, and I think you guys are going to love what's coming. In so many ways, there's loads of stuff coming for Studio One. So I'm very, very excited for 2025. But when we get to the Hogmanay show, which will be on the 31st, New Year's Eve, that's what the rest of the world calls it, New Year's Eve. In Scotland, we call it Hogmanay because Hogmanay is a Gaelic word for end of year. And so that's why we call it Hogmanay. And so I do the show every year on Hogmanay on New Year's Eve at 1 a.m. in the morning for me on New Year's Day, which for you guys is going to be 7 p.m. Central. When we do that show, we will be talking about the future. And that will be your chance to make some predictions about what you think will come for Studio One and what you think will come for PreSonus in terms of hardware products. Also, we can count in there Notion as well. So if you are a Notion user, and if you're a Studio One user, and if you have PreSonus hardware products, then that will be the show where we will get to talk about what you guys are predicting will come. So we can talk features that you think will come in 2025 for Studio One or for Notion, or if you think that there will be new PreSonus hardware products, what you think those might be. I'm not going to give anything away, obviously, but I would be very, very interested to hear what you guys are looking forward to and what you guys would like to see in the future. Maybe 2025, maybe 2026, maybe beyond. But yeah, be very interested to hear your thoughts. So be thinking about that between now and New Year's Eve for that show. I'd be very interested to hear what you guys have to say, and who knows, what you might have in mind is also what comes out in 2025. We're gonna have to wait and see whose predictions get fulfilled. That would be very, very cool.
And there was me thinking Hogmanay meant the Feast of Many Hogs. I'm so disappointed now.
Well, you know what? It may as well. I mean, depending upon which part of Scotland you're in, it may as well, because I think certainly up north, it tends to be that the entire village will gather for a hog roast. That does happen. So, there may be
sensible.
Yeah. There may be some kind of element of truth to that. But yeah, there will be no hog roast down here. but yeah, I'm really looking forward to New Year's, and I'm looking forward to Christmas as well. All right, let's go see what we've got going on in the chat, because I do see my name crop up in red a few times. Yeah. Paparaptor was talking about the trampoline that appeared in our garden. Yeah, I think I know whose it is. So I think it's a case I'm just, once the wind has died down tomorrow, I'm going to go around and knock on their door and say, hey, I think you'll find your trampoline has disappeared. In which case,
I think it would be way funnier if you were to just use the trampoline and jump up, and every time you jump up, say a word. Like, hi, is this yours?
Yeah, that would be very good. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I love the way YouTube does this. It has this little delay, and all I can see right now is your head doing that.
Yeah, no context.
It's so funny. Yeah. All right, so I think we should maybe get to the point of announcing our winner. But do you want to say maybe something about kind of the overall contest and what you've heard so far?
Yeah, so the submissions this time obviously were probably well over double than they've ever been before.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal. And I was with the Christmas thing. I was trying to do it from the perspective of giving people a little bit more freedom to do kind of what they want to do, and it's kind of interesting to see what people come up with. I think they've done a really, really good job with putting together some really cool, interesting mixes.
Yeah.
Some really cool, interesting individual songs, original pieces of music. And I think that is I mean, I know we're only talking like, a couple of months or whatever, but some people do struggle to write music, especially when they're sort of put on the spot.
Yeah.
Because, I think when we write music, sometimes it's kind of like, oh, I've got a cool idea. And you kind of go on a little bit of a journey and you figure it out as you go. But when somebody gives you something like a topic, such as a holiday season, Christmas season, it can be a bit tricky to kind of think, okay, I've got to think of something that means something or conveys a message or whatever. And the results were pretty good. I think the difference in people's individual originality was very, very obvious.
Yep.
In each of the submissions, like in a very good way.
Agreed. Yeah.
And you could kind of get from the songs the sound of that person. We heard some kind of new wave, some rock, some classical, some kind of like hybrid, kind of in between, sort of like Vangelis type stuff. We heard some traditional pop songs, some rock. I wouldn't say it's rockabilly, but kind of in that kind of genre. So there was all different genres of music, and it was really, really, really cool to see all the different styles of music that people put together. And there were some really original things in there, some really, really original things. And I think everybody that took part, those that mixed, those that wrote original songs, should all give themselves a pat on the back.
Yep.
Obviously there can only be one winner this time round. But it's a good prize. And I think if we can continue doing these and we can keep spreading the word, not just amongst ourselves, but other people as well.
Yeah.
Especially if you know somebody that's kind of like pretty good at what they do, but maybe they've never thought about doing like a challenge or something in the past. I see a lot of things float around on the internet, these competitions for mixing and writing original songs, and they do tend to get flooded with, tens of thousands of people all submitting songs. This is a smaller group, so the chance of you winning something by doing these challenges here on this channel are much greater.
Oh yeah, much higher. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see how many more people in the future do take part, because the prizes are, as I say, prizes have always been, I always thought, really fair, considering.
Agreed.
And I think, going back to what I was saying before, I think everybody should give themselves a pat on the back and, well done. Absolutely.
Yeah. And to the point you just made there, if you have found taking part in these songwriting challenges over the last couple of years really valuable and helpful to you, whether you've won or not, even if you've, the actual taking part and the actual, putting in the time to make the music and to submit it and all of that, if you found that a really helpful and valuable process to you in particular, please do say so in the chat, and also spread the word. I mean, find people that you know for whom you think that going through that process would be beneficial to them and helpful to them, and just get them in here. Send them the link to the channel and get them subscribed. And once people are subscribed and once people start coming into the chat and things like that, they get on our radar, and then it's then very easy to open up these particular contests to new people as well. We've had new people come in this time. It would be really great if we could just keep that momentum going and keep growing this. It helps my channel for sure, because I get more subscribers out of it, and this is great. But I think it's great for everybody. It's great for me. It's great for Rich. It's great for you guys, because it means you're putting into practice the stuff that we're talking about on Wednesdays and Sundays, which is which is what
Yeah.
this channel was started for in the first place. So
And yeah, I know that sometimes people with the Halloween aspect is that people find that a little bit more challenging, but
yeah,
it is kind of designed to be, make you kind of think about it. But we, I know it's a long way off, almost a year.
yeah,
But when we come around to Halloween next year, I think I think we'll try and implement some other aspects to, like the songwriting side of things. Um,
yeah,
Scale might still be important, but we might potentially look at things like rhythm or,
yeah,
song arrangement and that sort of thing, and getting you to write, within maybe a song arrangement that's, you know, that's useful for the genre.
yeah,
We'll, we'll we'll think of things. We'll have discussions about that, and we'll have discussions live
yeah.
on this channel as well about what people want. And the more questions you have, and the more things you want to know about, and the more things that Jonny can teach you. You ask questions in the chat so that the answers can be provided,
Yeah,
and put them to use. It's like sort of be involved in the chat and watch the show, and it's very informative. Put it to use, flex those muscles, and make the most of it. We've all got wonderful brains,
yeah.
and it's important to exercise them. Use it or lose it, pal.
That's the key. It's like being an athlete. The only way you get to getting a spot on a podium is by putting in hard work. A lot of hard work. Especially if you're a sprinter, you're putting in thousands of hours for what might amount to 15 minutes worth of actual sprinting in a contest, because you go through the heats and then you go into semi-finals, then you go into finals, and then there's the final race for the top four or something like that. And so you're only talking about 10 or 15 minutes of actual competitive sprinting, but you will have done thousands of hours of training and preparation and conditioning of your muscles and of your body and of your mind to be able to get you to the point where you could progress through the heats, get into that final medal race. And I think so it is with songwriting, with composing, with arranging. It's a different muscle set altogether. It's a different way of thinking, but it's the same principle that applies. If you put in the hours, if you put in the time, and you put in the effort, then you get results. And I think this challenge has shown you get results, because the songs are really, really good, and the mixes are pretty darn good too. So I think we just need to kind of keep that momentum going, and into next year, into November for the Halloween challenge. And I'm going to be gearing some more of the content for the Songwriting Simplified shows on Wednesdays towards preparing you guys for November, for Halloween. So we'll be talking more about particularly arrangement and orchestration and instrumentation, as well as kind of here's a little bit more information about some more exotic scales that you can make use of, either as something like a tone row, where you can just pick the notes and make melody and harmony from those notes, kind of a modal kind of tone row approach, which is kind of what we've kind of done with the November Halloween challenge in the past. So I'm going to gear a lot of the content towards that. So if you guys are really up for that and really interested in that, then make sure you're here on Wednesdays. We will be starting the songwriting shows up again in January. So there's no more no more Wednesday shows until January now. So the first, I think it's the first January of the first Wednesday of January. Let me just double check. Is January 4th. So there will be a Songwriting Simplified show on January 4th. And we'll talk more about kind of stuff that I'm going to be covering over the course of the next several months then. We'll go into much more detail about that then. All right, so let's get to the crux of this, of who our winner is and why. But we should also talk about our runner-up as well before we get to our winner.
Yeah, I think so. And there is one extra little thing, because I did ask you folks at the beginning of the challenge as well to kind of feedback to your fellow challengeers, and you did that. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I've been reading through the feedback as well, which has been really interesting for me to read without actually listening to any of the songs. But it's been good to see lots of positive and informative feedback being given by everybody to help steer, particularly those that were doing mixes. You know, they were saying, hey, maybe tweak this, maybe tweak that. That was really, really helpful stuff.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think it's encouraging to see people doing that, because it was not only from people that had already also submitted their own music, but even those that hadn't been able to in time. So they were at least able to have some sort of influence and impact over how that person, got their music done. So that's cool. But yeah, so we came up with a list.
Yep.
We were pretty close.
We were.
With our initial kind of like preliminary list, and pretty much like 50% exactly the same.
Pretty much.
And then 50% was kind of like the opposite way around.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign. That means we've both kind of thinking on the same tracks.
Yeah.
So when we came up with the list, I had a couple of songs for me that were just kind of like sort of very, very awesome, almost concept pieces. And I thought that there was one song that was submitted by Chris Maratna.
Yeah.
That I thought was really, really awesome.
Definitely.
And also our good friend over in Argentina, Juan.
Yeah.
And I know that the sort of the songwriting aspect of those songs, and even the mixing of those individual songs, was really good. But they were totally different songs, eh? They were like,
yeah.
Like yeah, so Chris. I mean, I'm sure you've all listened to it, and I hope you have. And if you haven't, you can go on the workspace and listen. But they were just interesting ideas, and like Chris had put a bit of a sort of a background as to what the concept for his music was. Thought that was kind of neat, and the music kind of spoke that. And with Juan, it was just kind of, well, we know Juan. He's a guitarist. He's practicing his English singing. Okay.
Yeah.
And he just went balls to the wall, to be brutally honest with you.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was really, really, really cool. And super, dense, loud mix. Not that the mix element of the songwriting is the important thing, but it's always kind of nice when you get that extra added bonus.
Yep.
And then we had our sort of main runner-up, who did something quite unique, and I was actually very impressed, because this person we know to be quite good with their musical knowledge, their musical ability, and just all round sort of good knowledge, good practical output, and did just an unusually solid piece of music for somebody that is practically good, but will often say by their own admission that they don't write songs, they play songs.
Yep.
And that was Ron.
Yes, Ron Figura.
So his song "Winter Speaks in Castalla," that was the Castalla, was the that was awesome. And I've got a feeling he may have used his Osmos with that, because there was some really interesting sort of textural things going on. And I think it's definitely worth a listen.
Very definitely.
I think those three should be, if they haven't already, just be putting those songs up on SoundCloud or somewhere that other people can listen to them.
Yes, please do. If you haven't posted up your work onto SoundCloud yet, because you've been waiting for this kind of moment, then please do get your works up onto SoundCloud and share them about on social media and everything else, so that we can all go and take a listen. And those of you that were honorable mentions or our runner-up in the case of Ron, definitely get your work up onto SoundCloud, because I think everybody should hear those. Ron's I really like, because it was so atmospheric, and it didn't have to have lyrics for it to be a Christmas song. And we always said, hey, you can do Christmas instrumentals. It totally. And Ron, I think, really captured the atmosphere of winter. The title was really, really good. I love the title. And, a lot of people, when they write instrumental music, the title is just something that they chuck on afterwards because they've got to come up with a title for it. Whereas this, I get the idea that this was a concept piece, where it starts with the title and then the music kind of developed out of the evocation of the title. And for that, I think extra kudos goes to Ron for that, because it was really, really good.
Loved it. And I think capturing the sort of like the winter aspect of it is on account of his cold heart.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, everybody that doesn't know Ron is an extremely lovely guy. Very open to sharing things, and the music in this was really good. I was super impressed.
Yep, I loved it. I loved every second of it.
I think he should write more music.
100%.
Personally.
100%. Yeah, Ron, take this as an encouragement, as a shot of adrenaline in the arm for your creativity, because I think you have the makings of a really good composer, for sure.
Yeah, and if you don't write more music, I'm going to send the boys round. All right?
Yeah, we'll smack you up. All right, should we get to the winner?
Yeah, I mean, regrettably, we do have a winner, don't we?
We do. We kind of have to, I suppose.
And and the fact that he's not even here.
I know.
It's just typical. It's just typical of him, to be honest with you. So the winner is, what's his name again? What's everybody call him? Cletus.
Cletus.
Or for those that know him by other names, Bops.
Bops, or Aurora's Boring Alice.
Yeah, that guy.
Or Dave. He also goes by the name of Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a friend called Dave, or everyone knows a Dave.
Everyone has at least one Dave in their life. Yeah.
He did a good job. I'm not going to lie.
Fantastic job. Yep.
He captured the golden era of the Christmas song. You could have put the music onto a vinyl, and
yes,
Yeah.
In fact, I would really love a vinyl pressing of this song because it needs that vinyl sound.
Do you know what? Because it's Dave, it's got to be on tape.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised he doesn't have like something like soft tube tape, and he's not run the whole thing through soft tube tape. He's, to warm it up, because it's that kind of song where you just go, it would just totally it's a warming song. It really is, and it's got a hilarious play on words.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things that I found most delightful. Is the whole thing is a lovely pun.
The chorus is catchy. It's a bit of an earworm, and
Yep.
just don't remember, kids, don't step in the reindeer shed.
Exactly. Yeah, the arrangement was fantastic. The attention to detail was great. It had all the key ingredients of a late 1950s, early 60s, middle 60s kind of pop song. It was great. All the elements, it just ticked every box. Really good vocal, good lyrics, good melody. It's the ideal song, and the title of the song is The Reindeer Shed, and our winner is Dave, and I'm going to play the song for you all now. Here we go.
I took a trip to see St. Nick at the old North Pole. He showed me around his North Pole town, but there's one place I couldn't go, one place I couldn't go. The reindeer shed, the reindeer shed. Don't step in the reindeer shed. They're fast asleep, they've all gone off to bed. The reindeer shed, the reindeer shed. Don't slip in the reindeer shed. If they're disturbed, they'll all want to be fed. Soon they will be wakened and hitched to Santa's sleigh. That's filled with joys and lots of toys for you on Christmas Day. The reindeer shed, the reindeer shed. No, don't go near the reindeer shed. You're better off to see the elves instead. But don't step in the reindeer shed. Santa's sleigh that's filled with joys and lots of toys for you on Christmas Day. No, the reindeer shed, the reindeer shed. Don't go near the reindeer shed. You're better off to see the elves instead. But don't step in the reindeer shed.
And there we have it, folks. That is the winner of the 2024 Christmas Songwriting Challenge. And I have a feeling that the man himself is actually here tonight. He's just going by yet another alias. I don't know if you noticed that as well.
Yeah. And I'm seeing there that, Bob's wishes to donate subscription but keep the software. Well, no, he's getting it all.
Yeah. There's no way to separate the two, so you get the whole kit and caboodle.
To borrow the title from my Christmas song that people mixed awesomely, you have it all.
You do have it all. Yep. and you have it all for a year. And the cool thing about that is at the end of that year, you'll get a perpetual license of Studio One anyway. So you're getting 2 prizes for the price of 1, which of course is nothing because you don't pay for prizes.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that subscription is that, you get the perpetual license to keep forever.
Yeah.
You've got the 12-month subscription. You can make use of the workspaces if you want to make use of the workspaces, all the extra sounds and all the cool stuff. And yeah, you can use those in your productions if you want to. Use them as little or as much as you want. The cool thing about subscription is there's always going to be more stuff than you need. And it's always better to have more stuff than, just the things that you want. Because you never know. You'll come across something, you'll be like, oh, damn, that's kind of a cool sound or whatever. Or there could be an effect, an instrument that you don't currently have access to. And you actually kind of like to use it, So I think, well done.
Extremely well done. And I'm actually really pleased. Really, really pleased that Dave is our winner. Because, as far as I'm aware, Dave has never entered any of our contests before. As far as I'm aware, I could be wrong.
No, I don't think so.
So, it's not only a new entry, but it's a new entry that goes on to win. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, that's not to say that he shouldn't enter again in the future.
For sure.
And to all the new people that joined in, awesome.
Yeah.
There's some interesting things that we heard, and I don't say interesting as in interesting as in really good.
Yeah. What I think my big takeaway here is that you all have been listening to what both Rich and myself, this is not just a me thing, although it is my channel, but so it's mostly me, but you've been paying attention and you've been listening and you've been applying the stuff that I've been talking about over the course of this year. And for that, I am immensely grateful and very, very thankful to everybody. For everybody that has attended all the shows this year, thank you very much. And for all of your questions over the last year as well, your questions are getting more and more challenging to me because you guys are learning more, and so therefore you're asking more and more challenging questions, and that is something I really, really enjoy. So please do keep your questions coming in. Keep me on my toes. Keep me learning as well, because it's one of the things that I get the most out of doing the Sunday and the Wednesday shows is I learn as well, because I learn about you guys and what you guys are into and what you are using Studio One for, and what you get out of it and what you want to see going forward. And that excites me a lot. And it's information that I can also feed back to the Persona software team, which I do, by the way. What I learned from you guys, I take back to the Persona software team and I say, hey, on this show, people were talking about this, this, and this, and I think this would be really great if we did those things. And, they are actually really a great bunch of guys who, they listen, they care, they are as passionate about Studio One as you guys are. And they listen to what you guys have to say. And if they can make something work for you guys, they will do it. There have been times where I've said, wouldn't it be really great if we had this, or if Studio One did this, or if we made this change to the note editor, because if we did that, it would tie in much better with the arranger. And they've gone, yeah, sure. Yeah, we can totally do that. And so then they go and do that. And it's, this comes out of you guys, So thank you very much, everybody, for all of your participation. And Kyle, oh, Kyle, that is hilarious. Why does a song have a beginning and an That is one of our long-running gags. For those of you that don't know, we have had from time to time individuals that have come into our show and they've asked that kind of question, and that's just hilarious. A hilarious little nod to those kind of questions.
Yeah, and there's also somebody else that's in the chat that obviously helps out with the community a lot as well in letting them have their music listened to and provide
Yes.
feedback and just have a real fun time. And that's Keith over at
Yes.
Radio Tuck Frumpet, and he's back at it again this year, and that's awesome to see.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to be putting in the chat there the link where you can submit your songs for the New Year show for Keith and for yourself. So do yourself a favour.
Yep.
And submit any songs that you've got. Load it up. Give him so much stuff that he doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. So those of you that have entered this challenge, or those of you that ran out of time and didn't quite get an entry in, but would still like your music played, get it over to Keith, following that link there for Radio Tuck Frumpet. So that is neartail.com/ca/Radio Tuck Frumpet. Get your songs submitted there. There is a very easy form that you need to fill out that gives some data and also the song itself. And I think he will accept MP3 and WAV file formats. So get those submitted, and then I do believe that Keith is going to be doing a New Year's show as well, I believe. I think he's actually doing his show before mine. So if you want to get your song in his New Year's Eve show, then get those submissions in super duper quick so that he can compile the playlist for his show. He says, send me your Christmas songs. I will tag them in the show from the competition. It's a 4-hour show. My God, man. That's awesome. Yeah, so Keith will be doing the 4 hours, I think, prior to my show, which is at 7 p.m. Central Time on Hogmanay. So just so that you guys know, there is no Sunday show next week, but we will have the Hogmanay show in its place. So no show on the 29th. Because I actually forgot I'm actually not going to be here. So I'm not going to be able to do a show on Sunday. But we will have the Hogmanay show instead, which is, of course, New Year's Eve, Tuesday, which is going to be 7 p.m. Central Time. That's 1 a.m. UK and 2 a.m. Central Europe time. And I believe that's going to be 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I think, down in New Zealand. I think, Rock, you may want to check that for me, but I'm pretty sure it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon in New Zealand for you. And that's on Tuesday.
I mean, a 4-hour show. I mean, we're moving through time zones at that point, so...
Yeah, so that'll be Wednesday afternoon. So that'll be middle of New Year's Day for Rock, because he will be in 2025 before any of us. So yes, we will be moving through the time zones, and it's going to be very, very cool. Okay, so Keith has some details there. My show will be 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you pay attention to that and follow that link, and you'll be able to get to Keith's show. It's going to be very cool. So New Year's Eve is going to be a pumped up time for everybody. I did think maybe about doing like a marathon 24-hour show for New Year's, but I'm not going to do that this year. However, I am considering doing that next year, so 2025 into 2026. So if you guys like the idea of a marathon show, where I invite just a whole bunch of guests, so I will have Rich maybe if he's around, And I will try and get some other folks involved. Maybe Joe Gilder. I will try and get him involved. And maybe I will see if I can get some of the other Studio One meetup captains involved as well. And perhaps even some Personas, other Persona staff involved as well, if I can. So if you guys are up for that next year, I know it's a whole year away, but if you would still like the idea of that, then let me know. Either via Facebook Messenger, you can do that, or you can email me, jonny@jonnyLipshamstudios.co.uk. It's just jonny@jonnyLipshamstudios.co.uk, and that email will get to me there. Likewise, if you've got further questions about anything to do with songwriting, composing, arranging, mixing, or if you've got ideas for future shows, that kind of thing, you can email me there as well. But otherwise, folks, we have come to the end of the Christmas show. I did think about running for an extra 30 minutes, but I can see that our viewership is dropping a little like a stone. But what I will say before we go, actually, if anybody does have any questions that they'd like to ask me or Rich, get them in the chat now. And we'll take a few questions. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not take a few questions? If you guys have got questions, we'll take them. If not, we'll just end the show. But if you do have questions, certainly we can take those just now, for sure.
Yeah. This is your 2-minute warning.
Yes. Neil says people are drunk and passing out. Well,
tis the season.
I've nearly finished this beer. In fact, I now have finished that beer. I don't normally drink beer on my shows, but screw it. It's Christmas.
Yeah. And Merry Christmas to everybody. And thanks, Juan. Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, Juan. And thank you for your awesome rock, metal, hilarious Christmas song. I thought that was great, especially the way you did We Wish You a Merry Christmas. The little quote from that in there was great. Rock's not really my thing, but that was terrific. I loved it.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad, yes. And I hope everybody has a really terrific Christmas, and I hope you have a great time with your families and your friends. And I hope that if you are going to be the recipient of Christmas gifts, I hope you get some really nice things, and I hope you have a wonderful time. And don't eat or drink too much, is all I would say, because I don't want people to be too drunk to show up to the New Year's show. So, yeah. So for the New Year's show, we will start at 7 p.m. pretty much on the dot. I will be drinking. There is no question about that. I will be drinking. So if you want to see me drinking and drinking quite a bit, then yes, get yourselves over here. And you can join me in New Year's Personas / Studio One / drinking games. And we may even think of a drinking game or two. So
I've got a few ideas.
Rich has got a few ideas already. So, so yes, if you want to come and join me for that, I may well have some guests for that show as well. Just for funsies, why not? Yeah. All right, folks, we don't have any questions. I'm not seeing any here anyway. Neil says, please got me pot. That's funny. You'll have to keep the swear jar close by. Yes, I probably will for New Year's because I have not actually had to donate to my swear jar very much this year. I think maybe, I think there's like £2.50 in there.
What kind of Scotsman are you?
Well, you know, I know that we have young people that do watch this channel, do watch this show. So, you know, I like to try and keep it at least moderately clean, even for a Scot. But I think I think, you know, there will be restraints that will be let loose, I think. And appropriately so. So I will have...
You've just seen it, haven't you? Yeah.
JL blitzed. I can barely understand him already. And you know what? I work so hard. Rich knows this. I work so hard at actually toning down my accent. Because Rich has been to my house and he has heard how I talk when I'm here. So he knows what I'm talking about. I work so hard at toning down my accent so that it's understandable by as many people as possible from different parts of the world. So
Hootsman.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Neil says you've been so good this year that Santa will probably give you an extra nice gift. Well, you just never know. But yeah, thank you everybody. For those of you that have made donations to my PayPal account, thank you very much. I have a couple of regular donors who they make small donations every week. And I'm not going to mention their names because I don't think that's appropriate to do so. But I do want to say to those people in particular, thank you very, very much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your donations. I also have a couple of other donors who have made some very considerable donations that have helped me to get my lighting sorted out, replace my mic stand, and a few other things, like my monitor station died, so I had to get a new one. And, you know, those particular people, those particular individuals who have made some pretty large donations to you, I want to say a big thank you to you guys as well from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for all you guys have done for me. Thank you.
There's just been a few people that have just come in, and Brett's just come in like, did I miss it? Unfortunately,
yes,
you're at the end of the show, but you can certainly rewatch it. And
yes,
as per usual, but Billy is going to be doing an after show Zoom.
Yes.
So you want to hang out and, you know, find out what the skinny is. That's cool.
Yep, I'll be there because I have at least another beer that I can drink. I am working tomorrow, so I don't want to be too blitzed, to use Dave's words. But yes, so that's the end of the show, folks. Brett, thank you for popping in at the end there. Appreciate it. And to everyone else, thanks a lot. I just need to cue up the intro music again because I forgot to do that because I've been talking and not paying attention, and I'm not very good at this kind of DJing thing. So anyway, thanks a lot. Thank you very much to Rich for joining me for this, and thank you so much, mate, for endorsing and sponsoring these challenges over the last couple of years. You have been a legend.
It's all on you guys out there.
Yeah, well, I very much appreciate it, and I value our partnership terrifically. It means the world to me. So thank you so much for doing it.
And as long as people keep making music, I'll keep sponsoring it.
Thank you. Well, that's the key thing, guys. So thanks a lot. And now we will get out of here. Good night, everybody.